Hurricane Katrina made landfall on August 29, 2005, devastating New Orleans and South Louisiana. Less than a month later, Hurricane Rita followed, bringing a second wave of unprecedented destruction. 500,000 people were forced to find higher ground, leaving behind their homes, jobs, and loved ones swept away in the deluge. The state of Louisiana would be changed forever.
We were affected by Hurricanes Katrina and Rita, and then just fast forward a couple of years in Gustav and Ike. And so we've been impacted by 4 hurricanes in the last 3 years. And so recovering has been quite a challenge for us, but we feel we're making great strides. But then again, it depends on what community we're talking about.
Primary problems were utilities and food. The houses were still here this time, but there was no utilities and there was no food.
Though relief organizations along with state and federal government aid were deployed in response to the devastation wrought by Hurricanes Katrina and Rita, too many residents were left in dire need for days and weeks, revealing the social inequities that severely worsened the impact of the storms. More than 4 years later, a great deal of need remains.
The Louisiana Disaster Recovery Foundation is a statewide foundation that has as a part of its mission the midterm and long-term recovery of Louisiana with an eye towards a social justice mission. We have a particular interest in resourcing and partnering with nonprofit leaders across the region that are improving the lives of individuals and families for the long term. And taking into account many of the concerns and issues that we deal with were things that we suffered from long before the storms hit the shores.
Thanks to supporters from across the nation and around the world, the Louisiana Disaster Recovery Foundation has been able to help restore human dignity amidst disaster and help those most in need. Since the 2005 hurricanes, LDRF has provided emergency relief to thousands of people, helped nearly 5,000 families into safe, affordable housing, and assisted nearly 2,500 small businesses to reopen their doors.
Through that grant that LDRF gave us, we were able to get 3 generators, stage them at our multi-purpose center in Port Sulphur, and we were able to have electricity, we were able to have ice, we were able to have cold water, we were able to cook, and therefore we were able to feed families.
Beyond disaster, LDRF is working to create a better Louisiana by empowering vulnerable communities and reducing disparity. By investing in affordable housing and small business development, it helps to build healthy, inclusive communities. By investing in policy reform and promoting civic engagement, LDRF ensures that all residents have the tools they need to shape a future of opportunity and self-sufficiency.
We focus on a lot of case management. We basically assess where a family is, do budgeting and financial counseling with them, and then we come up with a long-term recovery plan to get them home. That includes designing a home for them, also getting them through permits, and then providing construction administration and support on the back end. If there is a gap in the cost for them to rebuild, we also leverage a loan fund to help families to rebuild in that perspective. So we identify the gap and we find resources to fill that gap. And LDRF has been instrumental in helping us to fill that gap via supporting our loan fund, and as well as supporting our advocacy work so that families can have a voice in the rebuild of allocations of public dollars that come to the neighborhood. And so I just want to say thank you to LDRF for loving on the Lower Ninth Ward, loving on Louisiana.
The Louisiana Disaster Recovery Foundation believes in the native wisdom of everyday people. By supporting the grassroots and helping local leaders develop the capacity to bring their ideas to scale, LDRF ensures that it is rebuilding a better, more equitable Louisiana.
What really came apparent to us is the importance of the small businesses and the entrepreneurs to their neighborhoods and communities. The catalyst to these neighborhoods were these entrepreneurs who were reopening their businesses really on their own money. A lot of times they were financing this, but they became the hope, the inspiration for people to come back to their community. And what we have realized is really that entrepreneurs are the ones that create the economic and social change in our neighborhoods and communities.
Louisiana's seafood industry is a critical sector of the state's economy and a major provider for the rest of the nation. By necessity, independent fishermen live and work very modest lives in coastal areas. In many cases, their homes and fishing equipment were damaged or destroyed by Katrina and then by Rita.
In the history of Louisiana, they never had any actual fishing cooperatives. They have organizations, associations, never cooperatives. And the ones that we really worked with were the ones in Plaquemine Parish initially, but Plaquemine get hit every time there's a hurricane. They always get hit hard. Cameron Parish the same way. You know, Plaquemine got hit with Hurricane Katrina and Cameron got hit with Hurricane Rita, so they were devastated. It wasn't because of the LDRF we would have been unable to service those particular communities.
LDRF knows that disaster is a certainty and vulnerability is worsened by poverty and inequity, not just in Louisiana, but across the nation. In order to raise levels of preparedness and continue to develop a model of resiliency, LDRF has launched the Louisiana My Heart, My Home initiative.
LDRF created the Louisiana My Heart, My Home campaign in an effort to really raise people's awareness and understanding of disaster preparedness, as well as to create a culture of giving. And one of the things that has been really interesting about the development of the campaign is the tagline, "Prepare to live together, prepare to give together." And that tagline really kind of hones in on what it means to live in Louisiana, to love Louisiana, as well as to take care of each other as we prepare and live in a place that is certainly prone to disaster.
The foundation has been a blessing to the United Home Nation in our recovery efforts as well as building a sustainable community. They have helped us in our recovery with our home repairs. They have helped us in our recovery with our fishing vessels as well as our community building initiatives that the tribe has undertaken.
I don't want to live in a vacuum. I don't think America should live in a vacuum. Louisianians shouldn't live in a vacuum. It's about all of us pulling together, bringing our strengths and talents to help the next door neighbor, and then eventually that'll cross over a neighborhood, it'll cross over the city, it'll cross to the state.
As the challenges that have long plagued Louisiana and the Gulf South become increasingly familiar to citizens throughout the nation, facing economic decline and growing disparities in access to housing, employment, and basic services, LDRF's lessons learned and innovative solutions are more relevant than ever. Please help the Louisiana Disaster Recovery Foundation lift up its most vulnerable citizens and continue to develop long-term solutions that work for Louisiana and the nation by making a contribution today. To learn more about the Louisiana Disaster Recovery Foundation or to make a donation, call today or visit louisianahelp.org.